And shocking news Sunday morning before the Dolphins played their game, superstar Tyreek Hill, he was detained. An officer drove his knee through Tyreek Hill's spine as Tyreek Hill lays with his chest on the ground. It was complete chaos, a completely distraught situation. Well, Tyreek's teammate, Calais Campbell, he showed up trying to de-escalate the situation, and Calais was also detained. Thankfully, Calais is here to talk about it. Calais, my big brother, who I've known for roughly 15 years, I believe was in my literal brother's wedding. So Calais, not just a friend of mine, but a friend of the show. Calais, good to see you, bro.
Hey, man, happy to be here. Wish it was under better circumstances, but hey, we here.
No doubt about it. Well, first and foremost, congrats on the win. You had a sack, a couple TFLs. You had a phenomenal game, so I want to give you your flowers on the football field. But what people don't recognize enough is you off the football field. I've heard you give an account of the story, but really quickly, please, for our viewers, take us back to the moment you were running late for the game. Why was this such a particular situation? Take us to the moment when you got detained and seeing Tyreek get detained.
Yeah, so I left later than I normally leave. You know, it wasn't like I was running late because, it was probably like 10:18 when I pulled up where Tyreek was. I was looking at the clock because I wanted to be there like around 10. It's 3 hours before the game, give me time to go through my process. And so I'm pulling up in the lane I normally would turn into was blocked off. So I'm like, what's going on? Did somebody crash? And then I see the doors up, and then I'm pulling up, and I'm like, hold on, that's Tyreek. So I pull over, and I was just kind of sit there and kind of observe for a while, but then I seen the officer using unnecessary force. So I get out, like, hey, hold on, this is Tyreek Hill, this is my friend, like, what's going on here? And, then he came to me and was like, back up. So, of course, I backed up, called team security, told them what was going on, where we were at. John Smith had also pulled up around the same time I pulled up. He was on the other side of the car. And, the officers kept going kind of back and forth. And, I stayed where he told me I could stand, but after a while, he told me I had to leave. I told him I wasn't going anywhere, that I wanted to be there to support my teammate. Even Tyreek was telling us not to leave. He was like, tell Janu, don't leave me, tell me not to leave him. And so like, hey, I'm going to be here and I'm going to support my teammate. He said, if you don't leave, I'm going to tow your car. I said, that's fine, tow my car, but I'm not going to leave. And I guess, he felt some kind of way about me not leaving. So he's like, that's enough, you're under arrest too. And put me under arrest. Now, I wasn't cited. He put me under arrest, but he really just detained me. He put me in handcuffs. So handcuffs for like 5 minutes. He took them off and told me that he's just, right now, I was detained and released and it was resolved. But Tyreek was in handcuffs for like 20 minutes, probably more, from when I was there. And, the situation kind of ended about 10:45. And it was, team security came and, was able to, squash everything. Other officers pulled up. I think there were some superior officers pulled up and everything was worked out, but it was a crazy situation that was not necessary.
One, thank you for being here and sharing the story. Given what has occurred in America over the last 5 years publicly, obviously it's occurred in America for much longer than that, was there a moment when you were afraid for your teammate Tyreek Hill's life as he laid on the ground with a police officer's knee on him?
I definitely had, just a natural instinct of like, this could be really bad really quickly. And I genuinely believe that me being there helped the cop, because there was one officer that was, I think, acting irrational and erratic. And so when I walked up with my hands up, making sure that he knew I was not a threat, but also just curious what was going on and trying to see, what the situation was that had led to him to be in the handcuffs. Come to find out, it was over him going 10 miles, per hour over the speed limit, which, at least that's what he told me. He was like, come on, man, like, why is he in handcuffs, on the ground, being, physically, apprehended with force, for no reason at all, I'm a ticket, keep it moving, let's go. But, when I got out of the car, got my hands up, I'm walking towards, towards him, like, hey, that's my friend there, what's going on? And the officer that was instigating everything and was overly aggressive, he came towards me, which I feel like was the best thing that could happen because it allowed for Tyreek to kind of calm down, all the other officers to calm down. And when he came towards me, he told me to back up. Of course, I'm complying and doing everything he told me to do with my hands up and making sure he understood I wasn't a threat. But I just wanted to understand what was going on because this is my friend here who we're getting ready to play a game. And he's our best player. I'm like, yo, this is not okay.
Now, Calais, as we sit here, I appear larger than you on screen, but in real life, you stand at 6'9", over 300 pounds, and I would always joke, you got the voice of God. So when you step onto a scene, you are not, by any stretch of the imagination, a small person, 6'9", over 300 pounds. Did you ever fear for your life knowing how you present as a man in America and what that could mean to a police officer?
Yeah, when I was younger, my pops always told me, like you're a big dude, you have to make sure people understand you're not a threat. Because officers' first thing is they want to make sure their safety is good. So I've always approached every situation like, hey, making sure that I'm not a threat to you, but I know this is not okay, and I have to do something. So I wanted to be there and support my guy, but I won't say that I felt like my life was in danger. But when he walked up to me, and he was hostile, I definitely had like a moment there where like I got to make sure he knows I am not a threat, so my life does not become in danger because this guy is not thinking clearly.
Yeah, Calais, what's up, man? Shady, bro. Happy to see you, man. Hey, sorry about that we still going through stuff like this. I do want to ask you this, though, because Drew Rosehouse is my agent for 12 years, and he's Tyreek Hill's agent. And he was telling me how one of the cops, right, was acting crazy, right? Wasn't rational at all with anybody, wasn't peaceful, wasn't kind. Can you speak on that cop's temperature, how he was acting, what he was saying, so the viewers see, what type of cops that they were really dealing with?
Yeah, so he's the one that put me under, in cuffs. And, literally I was just standing there being supportive. Like there was no reason to put me in cuffs. And so I'm sitting there, trying to figure out what's going on. And there was one guy that was really agitating everything and just, extremely excessive. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, all other cops are pretty cool and chill, but he's the one that you have to, be careful, make sure everything, is just, on point. But he definitely was one guy. And I was happy that Drew came, because, after everything got, was kind of, the cops let him go. Tyreek got uncuffed. He came over. It was John New, me, and Odell. And then Drew walked over and was there and to help, Tyreek kind of calm down and get back into, playing mode. Because I didn't think Tyreek was going to play. Going through that situation, you can imagine, like he's flustered, emotional, scared. And, and he said he wasn't going to play. And I was like, I understand. Like, going through that, I mean, it's hard. That's hard for anybody when you get back into, a football mindset after going through that. But Drew was able to talk to him, get him to calm down. It still took him a while when we got back to the locker room. He was still, flustered, and everybody's asking questions, trying to figure out what's going on. So, it was kind of like lingering for a long time. But sounds like it for a while. It took him a while. I don't know his normal routine because that's the first time we really had like a game together. But he was sitting there for a while. Wasn't getting dressed and just kind of sitting in his locker. And I know it definitely affected him. But he went out there and balled, man. That's spectacular, man. He's an incredible guy.
Calais, Chase Daniel here. You won the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award in 2019. This award is considered one of the most prestigious awards by NFL players. I know you personally, you're a man of extreme integrity, and you are a leader not only in your locker room, but around NFL circles. What was the vibe like in that locker room once all that had gone down, knowing that you actually had to get ready for a game?
Yeah, it wasn't the ideal circumstance, before a game, you want guys focusing on, their responsibilities and, get ready to play a game. Instead, we're talking about, being arrested and, how bad things could have been and, everything else that happened. And we had to, kind of refocus. And it was hard for me, because I had never been in handcuffs before. It's my first time in handcuffs in my life. And I'm like, I didn't even do anything wrong, And so I definitely was feeling some kind of way myself, super emotional. And so I had to kind of let myself relax. And so it definitely messed up my preparation, the way I would prepare for a game. And, thankfully, we were able to, settle down, and relax and play some good football.
Calais, thank you. As somebody who knows you personally, I can say thank you for the man you are, but thank you for no more important moment in life than the moment you stood up for your teammate and with your teammate yesterday. You do a lot on the field, but off the field, bro, what you do is Hall of Fame worthy. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you, man.
I got some lawyers for you if you need a lawyer. I got some lawyers for you.
Appreciate it.
When we return, we are just hours away from the huge matchup, Jets, Niners. Who wins? Why?